the motivation makes the whole difference, as such that in all the classes, just see that that whatever I learn from this class, that it'll be of benefit for myself and benefit for others, all others. And the idea is that this morning what we discussed, that the benefit flows to others through the medium of compassion, that I must cultivate my compassion more. And in fact, to be very honest, in our lives we see that more the compassionate, more happy you are. More the compassionate, more people will see and you as a genuine friend, and when they go through difficult times, they'll turn towards you. And of course, this is your happiness and happiness for others. So with this mind, let's turn to page 3. And to with great compassion, you taught the immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. And to with great compassion, you taught the immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. And this is with great compassion, you taught the immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations through practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to win for all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations through practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to win for all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. And for information, we see that many of us, we know how to recite this verse in Tibetan. And for those of us who do not know the meanings of the words, I'm going to quickly explain this, which is page 4, the first verse. Sangye is the Buddha. In fact, what you find below, this is more like the approximate translation. But to give you word-word meaning, Sangye, I'm going to read I'm giving the meaning, the word meaning for each of the words. Sangye is Buddha, Chu is Dharma, Chu is Dharma, and Tang is and Tsok is accumulation. Tsok, page 4, Tsok. Ki is the linking word. Tsok is accumulation, Tsok is assembly, it can mean both. And Chok Namla, Chok is supreme or excellent, the best, Chok. Namla is to these, Nam is these, La is to. Changchup is enlightenment. Changchup, Partu is until or till. Dak is self, I or self. Ni is the linking word. Kyapsu Chi. Kyapsu is refuge. Chi is go for refuge. Until enlightenment, I go for refuge. Kyapsu Chi. Kyapsu is refuge. Chi is go. And the Kyap is refuge. Su is linking word. And Chi is go for refuge. Next, Dak, again self or I. Ki is the linking word. And Jin is generosity. Jin is generosity. Sok is etc. Sok. Ki is linking word. Oh, sorry, not ki. Dagi Jin. So kipa. Kipa is done. Done or did. Kipe. Tsok. Tsok is accumulation. Tsok. Earlier the tsok is the same word but can mean differently. The first one. From the first line, Tsok is like assembly. And the third line, Tsok is accumulation. Nam Ki. Nam is again another way of saying these. Ki is the linking word. Do. Do is sentient beings. Migrator sentient beings. La is to or for sentient beings. Pen. Pen is benefit. Pen. Chir is for the sake of the benefit. Chir is for the sake. Sangye is Buddha. Drupa is accomplish. Shok is may. Okay, so Tibetan English, how it works is slightly different. How many of you are not the, say, native English speaker? Raise hands. Like myself, non-native English speakers. So, or you speak another language, use hands. You speak another language other than English. Okay, good. So there, let's see that how the other language works. Sometimes, for example, Tibetan language, English language, and how they work is very different. That generally speaking, English, say you begin, you end. What ends in English is how you begin in Tibetan. So as English translated is very difficult when you translate for Holiness. So you have to, if the concept is new, you have to wait till His Holiness completes a sentence. Otherwise you cannot begin the English translation. Because the English translation begins from, for example, say it says, Dola Pinja Sangye Dubarsho. Okay, look, Dola is sentient, the sentient beings. Penchir is benefit, to benefit sentient beings. Look, it reverses. Sangye is Buddha, Duba is accomplish, Shok is may. Now look, English works like, may I become Buddha for the benefit of all sense. You just go reverse. You're getting it? So it's English translation. You have to wait till His Holiness said the last word. Till that point you cannot translate. So whereas if you know the concept well, then you can guess, okay, this is what He should say, you translate directly. Otherwise, if He translates, His Holiness speaks for like 5 minutes, you have to wait. Right? You cannot say even a word because you cannot begin. You don't know how to begin. The first word which you're going to say, His Holiness yet to say this. It will come only last. Okay. So this is meaning. We'll say this in Tibetan 3 times together. Sangye juda zoge junam lo janju bado dane gyabzuj Age jinso gebe sonam ye dola benjir sangye dubare jo sangye juda zoge junam janju bado dane gyabzuj dage Dola benjir sangye dubare jo sangye juda zoge junam lo janju bado dane gyabzuj Dage jinso gebe sonamge dola benjire sangye dubare shu. The next verse, which is the independent origination. This verse, we cannot explain it now. This requires us to have some understanding of what emptiness is, at least some intellectual understanding of what emptiness is. Only then this verse will be meaningful, and I want somebody to remind me this before explaining this verse before we wind up this retreat. Anyone? Okay, Tenzin Chudenla. Anyone else? Okay, your name? Tsawangenzanla. Okay, so there are 2 of them. Tenzin Chudenla and Tsawangenzanla. 2 of them will remind me. In case if we finish this retreat without explaining this, 2 of them are responsible. Right? I'm not responsible. Okay, so therefore I point people to volunteer. Good. So let's read this together. Independent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness, no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this peace, which is afraid of elaborations. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the Bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, which through the knowledge of all leads hearers seeking pacification and complete peace, which through the knowledge of paths causes those helping migrators to achieve the aims of the world, and through the possession of which helps subdue and expand varieties of teachings. The one who has transformed into the reliable guide and motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings. The teachers who guard and protect her to your restorations. The one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, who eternally shines for the forever noble light raised to you the Buddha restorations. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I chant the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. Om Dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham dathagato yavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam bhati mahashramanaya swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava tesham jayo nirodha evam bhati mahashramanaya swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham nathagato yavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam bhati mahashramanaya swaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation causes as well as taught by the great seer. Profound, peaceful elaboration, free, clear light, and non-composite. Such is the nectar light Dharma I have discovered. Finding no one that could fathom this teaching in silence or return to words. Pure utterance, thought, and expression is a perfection of wisdom, which is unborn, unceased, and senses nature space, is the object of apprehension of self-realized wisdom. To you, the mother of the Buddhas, of the 3 times of baby sense. The 4 seals of the Buddhist teachings. All composite things are impermanent. All contaminated things are the nature of suffering. All phenomena are the nature of emptiness and selflessness. Transcending soul is peace. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dharma, likewise the Guru is the Sangha, the Guru is the source of everything wholesome. I go for refuge in the Guru. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, you liberate all beings of miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain and keep teachings until the end of the experience of billions of eons. The Buddha does not watch the negativities of beings, nor does he remove the miseries by his hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It is by teaching the truth of suchness that the beings are liberated. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. If you are attached to this life, you are not a spiritual practitioner. If you are attached to samsara, you have no renunciation. If you are attached to your own self-interest, you do have no bodhicitta. If there is grasping, you do not have the view. Okay. Arya Nagarjuna student, Arya Nagarjuna, who happened in 1st century AD. In terms of the date, there's a little bit of discrepancy between the different scholars. The earlier scriptures, there were little discrepancies there. And the date. So, not much thing to worry about the date. So around 1st century, some say it's BC, but some say the AD is fine. The point is that his message, his teaching on the wisdom of emptiness, which he explained the thoughts of the Buddha who taught that in Tibetan, Tongba Shiwa, Kewa Mebesu, Mishibine Draw, Kimjoba, Teda, Tujing of the Tabzuki, Bajalagun, Zuberze. What the Buddha is indicating is that here the same Tongba Shiwa, Kewa Mebesu, the unborn nature, the peaceful, and the emptiness. But failing to see this reality, the beings wander in samsara. The great compassionate one, with numerous reasons, try to drive the beings in this direction. in the direction of the wisdom of emptiness. So, and this is this concept, the failing to understand this concept of the emptiness, then we continue to suffer in samsara. For example, like, let's say, how many of us, we would, you have some confidence that, okay, 5 years later I'll be there, right? 5 years later I'll be in this particular place, or this will be my situation, or I'll be happy. How many of you can predict that with great assurance? Raise hands. No one. How many cannot predict? Raise hands. After 5 years. Then what about after 10 years? 5 years may not be predicted, then after 10 years. So more the duration, more the length of the time, less the predictability. You agree? Less we can predict. So the point is that this was samsara, we never know. Forget about 10 years, 5 years. Even say tomorrow what is going to happen. We just rely on our, say, some kind of blind, say the belief that, okay, tomorrow, then what, on what day do we finish? 10th? No, 10th or 11th, 10th. 10th we finish, and 10th, how many of you plan to go up for Dharamsala? Up? Raise hands, any plan? One? Okay, up, or Delhi? And you're sure you're going to go there? Right? It's a plan. We never know whether this will happen. To be very sure. It's not inauspicious words, but this reality. So in other words, that this is samsara. If you cannot predict even what is after 10 days, then 10 years, 10 lifetimes, next life, 10 lifetimes and so forth is very complicated. So, and this is samsara where we have to live in the uncertainty, the world of uncertainty. And this answer is very scary. Think about this, for example, in Israel, when was the first thing happened? The sudden attack in Israel. 7th October, right? 7th October the attack happened, right? 7th October attack happened. 2 days before, people were so much at calm, peace. They would have planned for after the holiday, next year, and so forth. And suddenly that happened, and then now, even some of my friends who were there, they're not staying in a hotel because they already they are evacuated from the place by the government and put them in a hotel. So now they live, the children, they're living in a hotel. So this is unpredictability, and it can hit anybody. And if you think about this, it's very scary. It's very scary. So this is what the Buddha indicated, that the failing to see this, the emptiness, the beings wander in samsara. So how to get out of this problem? Wake up from the sleep of ignorance. This is so important. We must get this understanding. So they say that you are happy, you are unhappy, you are disturbed, not disturbed. It's all about your mental state. How many agree with me, sense? It's all about a mental state. And some people right now at 317 or maybe 319, some people are very fresh, some people a little drowsy, feeling still, the lunch is not digested fully, so feeling a little drowsy. Some people very fresh, some people half. So it's not that, why are you feeling so drowsy? Don't blame the weather, right? Don't blame the atmosphere here, right? So the point is that it's against about your mental state. You agree? So sometimes when I feel, say, particularly I would say when was that? When I was in my 20s. This is one thing that I've been, that many of you who are in your 20s I can see. In my 20s, I was just wondering, sometimes if all the leaves, look at these leaves, the leaves, they appear so sad. Look at the leaves, they're so sad. You're not moving at all, right? And the walls so sad. Everything is so sad, so gloomy, static, slow, right? So namla, look, so everyone is so. And then suddenly I see somebody who looks so fresh. How come that he or she is able to have this freshness? How come? So these are things which are going in my mind when I was in my 20s. Okay, so the point is all about the mental states. It's not about the weather. It's not about the whether you are happy. Everything is so amazing. These leaves, they're not disturbing each other. They're so beautiful, right? When you're at peace, see everything's beautiful. You'll go, wow, it's amazing, so fresh, like this. It's amazing. So everything seems so beautiful when your mind is happy. When your mind is not happy, everything seems so boring, sad, gloomy, grim. This is how our mind works. So it's about the mind. So where something is wrong with the mind, we end up into miseries. And these miseries can range from, say, 1 to 10. Then it depends what kind of mental state that determines how happy, comfortable, sad you are. So this is extremely important point. With this mind, Bodhisattva, the Arya Nagarjuna student, Arya Deva, what he said is that those with less merit will not even have a doubt in this teaching. Let me repeat it. Those with less merit will not even have a doubt in this teaching on emptiness. Should a doubt or qualm arise in the mind, will shatter samsara to pieces. Say, for example, you are dreaming, and you see the dream is real. As long as you adhere to the dream is so real, we are being the slave to the dream. We're being driven by the dream. We are under the sway of the dream. And then say, how many of you, let me just raise hands. How many like to have the dream of having audience with the Holiness Dalai Lama? Raise hands. Raise hands those who like to have a dream of having audience with the Holiness Dalai Lama. And then the Ajiriji taking all of us to the audience of His Holiness. And then in your dream, then His Holiness asks His Holiness, Ajiriji, why don't we have a cup of tea together with me? How many like to have this dream? Raise hands. Having a cup of tea with His Holiness. Raise hands. Are you very pleasant dream, right? You're all smiling. So good. Next question. Who is going to have this dream tonight? Raise hands. Who is going to have this dream tonight? Raise hands. Omar, why not? It's a very pleasant dream.
No control gets your life.
Did you hear what he said? We have no control of a dream. We have no freedom to choose a dream. How many agree with Omar? Raise hands. We have no freedom to choose a dream. Lack of freedom is suffering. You're getting it? Lack of freedom is suffering. So we talk about the freedom, human rights, animal rights, and so forth. So lack of freedom is suffering. This is what we need to know. So as long as we are under the sway of the dream, there's no freedom. However pleasant the dream is, we have no freedom. Even the most pleasant dream, it has the element of lack of freedom. What is lack of freedom is suffering. So, even the pleasant dreams, they are tainted by the lack of freedom. So at the moment, what we're going through, so we think that we have a freedom. I have a freedom. I came here, dear Pop, with my own freedom, right? Yes, there's some degree of freedom. We have a choice. Lucky that we make a good choice. For example, I chose this topic for this retreat. This is extremely important for us. This is a way by which for us to wake up from the sleep of ignorance. So it's all this is part of dream, but the dream meant to wake you up from the dream. Okay, so therefore, this great teacher, Arya Nagarjuna's student, he said that those with less merit will not even have a doubt in this teaching on the wisdom of emptiness. Should a doubt arise, it shatters your samsara into pieces, where you start questioning what you are saying. Is it real? You start questioning, then that is the one which they say, which takes you away from the loss of freedom, takes away from the unconventional dream. It shatters samsara. What's samsara? Samsara is, then don't think that this place is samsara, right? Anyone, what is samsara? Quick. What is samsara? You heard about samsara, right? The girl over there. All around us is samsara. Okay, anyone else? Huh?
It's a materialistic world.
Materialistic world. Anyone else?
Cycle
Cycle
of existence.
of existence, meaning
We believe in realms.
6 realms. Okay, this is samsara. Anyone else? Samsara is what our mind creates. It's a mental attitude. Anyone else? Wrong views. Wrong views. Samsara. Anyone else? Okay, so what we do is that in the course of this retreat, we'll try to identify, say, how samsara is really understood. You getting it? Say, some people they say that, oh, the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are better than the Buddhas because the Buddhas they left samsara, and the Bodhisattvas are those beings who deliberately, come back to samsara. How many of you got this impression from reading some books or hearing some teachers saying, resents that the Bodhisattvas they deliberately come back to samsara, and Buddhas they left samsara completely, they abandoned us. Resents? Okay, yes. So this is a total naivety, total lack of understanding. This gives you the impression it's so like the samsara is a place. You go away, you're free from samsara. And some people who come back, knowing that this is not a pleasant place, but there are people suffering. I must come back to help them, right? I should not go to another place. So that concept of samsara is extremely coarse, is not the real understanding of samsara. There's no one place from which you leave or you go back. No, it's not like that. It is as Ajahn said, samsara is your mental life, how your mind creates. Your mind creates, right? And later on, you'll come to learn a little bit more technically as to what samsara exactly is. And the wrong views, what Anthony just said, wrong views, mistaken the attitude, these all will boil down to the same point as to what constitutes samsara. Okay, so let's not forget this. We have to identify what samsara is. So, say how many of you had nightmares in your life? Resents nightmares. In sleep, you have nightmares. Who never had any experience of nightmares? Resent? No experience of nightmares. Nightmares. The answer, you must have many nightmares. No nightmares at all. They're lucky. That's amazing. Okay, so anyone else who did have nightmares in life? Resents? Who had nightmares in their life? So look at it, even the very young ones also had nightmares, right? Okay, so people tell me, what is nightmare? Extremely bad dream, very scary dreams, right? Very scary dreams. Say, do you agree with me that if you're going through extremely scary dreams, you try to shake yourself? Sometimes you're aware there's a dream and it's very scary that you want to wake yourself up. For this, you try to move your body to wake yourself up. Yes, how many of you do that? Raise hands. Yes, you're okay. So Sometimes you succeed, sometimes you don't succeed, right? So I'm sure that many of you agree with me, the approach. I just try to keep my eyes open and the dream stopped. At the moment eyes automatically closes down, again the dream continues. Yes, raise hands. Scary dream continues. Okay. So the point is that whatever you do to wake yourself up, and that is the one which will shatter your nightmare. Shatter meaning destroy your nightmare. How many agree with me? So waking up means to wake yourself up. That is the means to shatter your nightmare. So nightmare is a samsara. Samsara is a nightmare. It's extremely, extremely scary. And particularly you get a glimpse of emptiness. You get a glimpse of emptiness, then you say that, wow, now I understand what samsara is. Samsara is really very scary. You're getting it? Okay. So, Bodhisattva Arya Deva, the student of Arya Nagarjuna, they taught that those with less merit will not even have a doubt in this teaching. What is emptiness? When you say, what is emptiness? When you question the reality of what you are seeing, when you don't question the reality that you are seeing, you are sucked up, you are just drowned in the dream. So, if that happens, this is indication that you are less meritorious. Meaning, less meritorious meaning those who are way too far from waking up. These are less meritorious people. But it doesn't mean that some are less meritorious, some are meritorious. That I'm very unfortunate, I'm less meritorious. Less meritorious. Say if you are here, we're going to have the audience with His Holiness Dharamsala, right? So how long does it take? 12 hours, right? It's too far away. It's far away, right? So what should you do? If I keep saying far away, you will never go closer. Start taking the walk. The first step, second step, third step, every time you become closer. So closer towards your waking up, you are known as the meritorious one. You're getting it? It's not that there are some people referred to as the one labeled as meritorious. Some people label us non-meritorious. No, there is no such thing. It's that we make ourselves non-meritorious. We can make ourselves meritorious. If we take steps, we become meritorious. Right? The fact that we all come here for this retreat. Come here. This is a clear indication that you are meritorious. You have taken step. But it is not that easy. It doesn't mean that this text is difficult. The point is that for somebody to really say there's some contact with these teachings, it's not that easy. It requires a lot of merit. And you may think that, no, the young ones may say that, oh, I accidentally heard from somebody. It's not accidental. There are so many people. There are so many people, as you just said, there are so many people who are connected with Dear Pa, who are connected with myself, but there are so many new faces here. You're getting it? New faces. It's all your merit and my merit, your merit, that we're together here to study this text. It requires a lot of merit. It's not that easy. In fact, I remember 2012, we had the first Bodhicitta retreat. And it was a year before that when I informally announced this. There was one gentleman. The moment he heard this, that this retreat is going to happen 1 year later, he already said he started to book the flight ticket. I don't know how he succeeded that. He was so excited, right? He planned. At the last minute, the next day was his flight for the actual, the retreat. The next day, he had to cancel it. It's not that easy. You've got a lot of merit. And some of you may wonder, what is merit that he's talking about, right? So some seniors can perhaps Anthology, Ajiriji, and some seniors can explain to you what merit is, right? So we ask them. That would be very helpful. Okay, so those with less merit will not even have a doubt in this teaching on emptiness. Should you have a doubt? What is that doubt? That what I'm saying is this reality. Is this reality? What I'm saying is that the reality? You put a question mark to the existence. What are you seeing? Then that is a way to wake you up. That is the indication of your being meritorious. Though should a doubt arise, even a doubt arise in this teaching on emptiness, it will shatter your samsara into pieces. Your miseries will be shattered. Your miseries will be gotten rid of. This is so precious. Okay. So with this in mind, the Buddha Shakyamuni, after becoming enlightened under the Bodhi tree, and the reason why the reason why did the Buddha Shakyamuni, the Prince Siddhartha, at the age of 29, he left the palace? Why? Quick, anyone? Raise hands.
He was disillusioned with the world.
He was disillusioned by the world. Anyone else? In search of Dharma. Anyone else? Huh? He is suffering. The world is suffering. Seeing suffering, he wanted to do something for the world. Very good. Anyone else?
He had a doubt in reality.
Oh, okay. What's the reality? Okay, he's a philosopher, right? Okay, he's a doubt. Good. Anyone else? But in search of truth, what's the truth, right? Whether quantum physics is not true or not. Quantum physics is true or relativity theory is true, right? To explore that. Or, okay, so let's not forget this. Finally, whatever the reality is, the fact is that nobody wants to suffer. You're getting it? Nobody wants to suffer. And in his life as a young prince, he could see so many things happening, wars happening among the kingdoms. In the palace, he could see injustices, how the young men of the royal families, they abuse others, right? He could see all these injustices in the palace, and the common people suffer, the wars. He could see all these things. So this is the reality. So with this in mind, then this young prince thought that, okay, so I'm already 29 years old. He was already 29 years old. And if I continue like this, at the most I can become the next king to replace his father, to become a king. And as a king, what can I do? These are the problems. Not only the problems of the palace here, the kingdom here, but all the people even in the other kingdoms also, they suffer. So as a king, you can, at the most you can do something for your kingdom, but not to everyone. So where lies the solution? In other words, disillusioned by the miseries, the world is going through, and they want to do something. So he thought that by following a traditional life, becoming prince, becoming king, there's no solution. I have to do something different. So he left the palace. Then in search of truth. In search of truth. What is the truth that can get rid of our problems? So he was in search of solution to all the problems. So with this, then finally he discovered he met with his first teacher. Who was his first teacher? Anyone? Acharya Larakalam. Okay. And some of you may be wondering, how come that they already know? You're getting it? Which means they attended these retreats many times before. So the point is that it's like for us to, in a way, what they're doing is like to inspire us to learn this more ourselves. Learn this more, then you'll really become solid. You will have a solid ground of this knowledge. This is so important. It's not just one retreat. They studied this for so long. Okay, so he first met the first teacher, Acharya. Acharya meaning the great master. Acharya Alarakalam. And very soon, because the Prince Siddhartha, who was to become the Buddha later on, he was right from the childhood, he was exceptionally bright child, exceptionally bright and exceptionally compassionate. So with this intelligence and so well trained as a young prince, all this training in academic, say the field as well as in the archeries, all these the mundane skills, with all these, his mind was so active with added to his the already extremely intelligent mind. So he soon reached the same level of expertise as his teacher pertaining to the meditation. Then he asked for more teachings. And the teacher said, no, you already know everything now. And you stay with me, all my students are your students, so you guide them. And the Prince Siddhartha said that still I've not found the solution. What solution? For all the beings, to remove the self of all the beings. And he found this second teacher. Second teacher? Acharya Uddrika. So he found the second teacher, Acharya Uddrika. And Acharya Uddrika's meditative realization is way higher. And if we are lucky, you can also inquire through these questions to the seniors. That this whole samsara is divided into three groups, known as three realms. Three realms. The first one, desire realm, form realm, and formless realm. And the more details you inquire from the other seniors. Desire realm, form realm, and formless realm. And the form and formless, they are you can take birth there only if you have a very refined meditative state. Only then you can take birth there, or else we should be always there in the desire realm, where we are now. This is the desire realm. And I don't want to go into detail as of now. Otherwise, all these, the introduction will take a lot of time. So with this, the Acharya Uddrika, the last one, which is the last one? Three realms, desire realm, form realm, and formless realm. Within formless, there are four levels. The formless, there are four levels. The infinite space, for those who are, who don't mind going into all these details. Infinite space, infinite consciousness, vacuity, and peak of existence. Let me repeat it. The infinite space, infinite consciousness, vacuity, and peak of existence. Four. So these four, we see that the Acharya Alarakalam, the first teacher, he attained the third level of formless. And the Acharya Uddrika, the second teacher, reached the last one. He attained the final one, the peak of existence, the meditative experience of the peak of existence. And again, this Prince Siddhartha, he reached the same level and asked for more teachings. And the teacher said, no, you have already reached the peak, right? Peak of existence, you have reached the peak. What is peak? The highest level. You have already reached the highest level. So there's nothing beyond this. All my students are your students. Please guide them. And then again he said the same thing. I came here for a purpose, to look for a solution to all the problems. And from my experience, I see that I did not get I'm yet to get the solution to all the problems. So finally, then he went in search of this solution. He spent 6 years in meditative state. 6 years. Finally, he realized the emptiness concept. You're getting it? He realized the emptiness concept, which we're going to study. He realized that. Then that is the solution. So, with the COVID, tell me, those of us here, how many of you were during the time of COVID? Raise your hands in this world. But the COVID was in this world, how many of you were here? Raise your hands. In a way, I'm asking anybody who's born just last year? No one. We all had the experience of COVID. We're getting it? So tell me that with the COVID, when the COVID came and it started to break out in the world. So what did the scientists do? Pfizer and Moderna. So what did they do? They invented the vaccine, right? Invented vaccine, and then what? When the vaccine is invented, started to market it? No. Okay. Anybody? Nurses, doctors, raise hands. Okay, 1, 2. Okay, tell me. Okay, tell me, once a vaccine is already invented, then what is the next process? Distribute. Yeah, distribute, market it. Right? Agree? Not agree? Here, the education dollar doesn't agree. So she's the one in the peak of COVID. She flew from America to India, risking her life. When the people here, people hospitalized in the ICU, she flew from America to train the Tibetans all in different places to how to manage the COVID. So she'll tell us. So what should we do after the inventing the vaccine? What should we do? Test it to let it go through the trial, right? The trial, say the human trial. It has to go through human trial. You are not supposed to market it. No distribution. First, you have to check the efficacy of the vaccine. You're getting it in Pfizer, said to be 95% efficacy, right? Pfizer. Moderna? I don't know, right? So the point is that we have to put this to trial, test. So the Buddha found this, the wisdom of emptiness, as the solution, right? So what should we do now? To test it, to see if it works, to test the efficacy of the wisdom of emptiness. So what he did, he was meditating to really test it, to see how efficacious that wisdom is. He tested this. And then he discovered that wisdom of emptiness is the waking state. That is the counterforce of sleep state, ignorance of sleep. So ignorance of sleep is shattered. You getting it? Okay. So why did you jump from the building? Because you were chasing the cat. You remember that? Okay. And why were you chasing the cat? Because you're very angry with the cat, right? Why you were angry with the cat? Because it jumped over your delicious cheesecake, right? So what's the problem if he jumped over your cheesecake? I love the cheesecake so much. Attachment to the cheesecake. You're getting it? So attachment to cheesecake, anger towards the cat, ended you up in the falling off the building, and then what? Broken legs, whatever. Okay, so miseries. All these started, what is the initial trigger of all these problems? Seeing the dream is real? Anyone? Anyone else? Anyone else? Yes. Attachment to what? No, this is all included. So all the trigger, Ultimate trigger. What's the ultimate trigger? Huh? Desire, ignorance. Okay, don't think that you're philosophers, right? I'm talking about a simple dream. Okay, why? What's the trigger? Seeing the dream is real. Huh? Seeing the dream is real, or huh? Yeah, sleeping, falling asleep. Falling asleep is a problem. You're getting it? Falling asleep. This is, what's your name? John, thank you. Amazing. Falling asleep. Sleep is a problem. Sleep is the problem. Sleep which resembles ignorance. That triggered sleep, then in the sleep you created the dream. With the dream, then you will see the cheesecake. Then you see it's a real attachment arises. Cat jumps over. You feel angry with the cat. You chase the cat. Action, karma. And then you jump. And then you have the miseries. So all triggered by seeing the dream as real. And why that happened? Because of the dreaming. Because of sleeping. Right? That's a problem. So, our job is to wake up from the sleep of ignorance. This is, if we understand in this sense, then we see that the wisdom of emptiness is so precious. So the Buddha, he was meditating. What happened is that he woke up from the sleep of ignorance. With this, what happens? Then the dream cheesecake stops. Right? He woke up. Dream cheesecake stops. What happens? Attachment to the dream cheesecake stops. With this, what happens? No cat jumps. Right? With this, anger towards the cat stops. With this, your action of chasing the cat stops. With this, the cat jumping to the other building stops. With this, you will not also try to jump to other building. You cannot jump. And then falling down stops. All your misery stops the moment you wake up. So this is what happened, Buddha in the meditation. So the Buddha realized that this is the solution which he has to share, which he has to teach all other sentient beings. You getting it? Okay. So what happened was that with this experimentation, trial, putting this wisdom of emptiness into trial, experientially, he saw that all the miseries, all the series of events in the process of creating miseries stopped. He experienced the ultimate happiness, ultimate contentment, ultimate happiness. All the fears dissolve, and the mind manifests its true nature, which is the gold. It manifests fully. So that this is known as the Sugata. Sugata meaning the one who has gone to the bliss of perfection. The one who has gone to the bliss of perfection, perfect purity. So when his mind manifests its true nature of what? True nature what? Fearlessness and infinite happiness. Fearlessness is nirvana, infinite happiness is, hey, this morning I think we learned, or good, thank you. Otherwise, I thought that we learned it 10 years before. Yeah, so thank you, the young ones who remind me. Okay, so they say because of this manifestation, once the true nature of his mind, what happens? All his fears dropped. That's a fearlessness. What's the fearlessness, technically speaking? Nirvana. Not only that, his mind expands. No factor can stop his mind. Okay, the example with the Buddha nature, example given by Arya Nagarjuna, is a light in a vase, light in a vase. The purpose of light is to glow, but when you put it in the vase, it cannot glow. So you may think that there's no light inside this vase. and you want to study, you want to read the books, and you go into the room, you see this is so dark. And I said, there's a light there. But he said, no, there's no light. There's a light there. How do you know that? If possible, try to punch a hole to this vase. You punch a hole, what happens? From this hole, the light from inside will beam forth. And still, if you want to know it thoroughly, you break the vase. What happens? The light inside will beam forth in all 10 directions. You agree? So, this vase is like the mental defilements created by ignorance and its stains. Break this vase of the ignorance, the light inside, your true nature of the mind will manifest. The true nature of this light will manifest. What's the true nature of the light inside inside this vase? Is to pervade in all 10 directions. So your mind will become so expansive, it expands freely. This is known as the infinite. It expands infinitely, this infinite happiness. And how this, you're expanding your mind infinitely in its true form equals the infinite happiness. This is again another thing that we need to learn. And if you're interested, those questions which I ask, which I'm not doing now, you jot them down, these questions. Later on, if you get time, you have to ask me, you have to ask the seniors. Okay, why I'm jumping very quickly is because that we don't have much time. Emptiness is a huge topic, but keep in mind that don't tell the monk scholars here down there. There's a huge monastery, Zongsar Monastery. Don't go. If you go down, keep yourself, maintain a dignified silence. Don't disclose what you're studying here. 1 week of emptiness. Don't say this. They're studying life 10 years of emptiness. We study emptiness for 7 years? No, 7 months? No, 7 days. Don't disclose this, right? Say if they ask you, what are you doing? No, we are in Deer Park chilling out. All right. Don't say that we are studying one emptiness. Then say, wow, this is amazing. Usually there's no program on emptiness in Deer Park. Yes, of course. They may call Ajirji, right? Is a program on emptiness? Ajirji may say, yeah, right? And you say, right, emptiness, then 7 years, how many years? Then you will say, no, it's 7 days. Right? Okay, the best is just go there and don't talk about emptiness to them. Right? But at least don't tell them that we are doing emptiness for 7 days. Okay. And Buddha remained for 6 years, and we are doing this for 6 days. Buddha remained for 6 years of deep meditation, and we're expecting emptiness in 6 plus 1 day. Right? For Buddha, 7 years. For us, okay. So the point is that this is what the Buddha did. Experience a Sugadahood, the state of the Sugata, the one who has transcended to the perfect bliss of purity. So with that experience, then the Buddha went to protect the beings, by sharing the wisdom that he obtained, he realized with all the beings. Okay. What we read here now is actually there. Anybody who can identify what I explained thus far is actually in this. Anyone who can help me identify? 116. 116. 116. Where is that? 116. Page 15. 50. Anyone else? Anyone else? You don't have to go that far. Anyone else? Page 6. Don't go for 116. Don't go for 50. Page 6. Page 6. It says, where is page 6? Where? Page 6. No. Maybe the Pinzola's version is slightly different from ours. Page 5, yes. Page 5. Turn to page 5. And our poor Sheripema, she went to 116. Right? And our Jimela, right? He went to 50, page 50. And then 6 is on page 5. Page 5. Page 5. And do you see the verse which reads, the one who has transformed into the reliable guide? You see that? Okay, now look, this word, these two lines will make perfect sense to us. Okay, so the point is that Prince Siddhartha left in order to learn, in order to look for the solution by which to guide all the beings towards the ultimate happiness or ultimate contentment. Right? So, to become a reliable guide, the one who has transformed from this, before 6 years, after 6 years, he transformed. Before 6 years, he was just an ordinary prince. After 6 years, he was transformed into a reliable guide to guide all the sentient beings towards ultimate happiness. Reliable guide. And what motivated him to do that? Motivated by altruism to benefit all sentient beings. This is motivation. With this, what he did? He was in search of the path which he was to teach the beings, teacher. The search, the solution, which he was to teach the sentient beings, that the teacher. So this, the wisdom of emptiness, which he was to teach all the beings, that he first, before teaching, he experimented on himself. Experimented on himself, he attained the state of Sugata. Next, Sugata. What is Sugata? State of bliss, perfect bliss of purity. State of perfect bliss of purity. And with this experience of Sugatahood, then he went to protect the beings by sharing the wisdom of emptiness to all the beings. That makes him the protector. You're getting it? Okay, so this is how he proceeded. With this in the mind, if you really think that the teachings of Buddha is something which I have to learn, right? Or I want to explore Buddhism, or I want to practice the teachings of Buddha, then take this as a role model, these two lines as your role model. In fact, in the first place, in the earlier days, meaning many years ago, when His Holiness was in his 60s, when I was, the 60s, 70s, His Holiness' energy is just amazing. And nowadays, His Holiness gives teachings only for like 1 hour, 1.5 hours. Otherwise, in the olden days, when he was in the 40s, 50s, 60s, I learned that when His Holiness was in 30s, he was give teachings for like 12, 13 hours a day. It's trash, right? No tiredness. When he was in I remember when His Holiness must be in 50s. His Holiness was set on the throne with a short break, like 7, 8, 9 hours easily. And then myself, as just 20 years old, sitting there, felt so tired, right? Not understand what His Holiness was teaching, right? And His Holiness was deep into philosophy, not understand anything what His Holiness was teaching, and pain here, pain there. I just wish, when will His Holiness stop the teaching? Right? Okay, when His Holiness never stops, full swing there. So that was His Holiness. Why is she at the okay. Then I remember that on many occasions His Holiness would cite these two lines in Tibetan. But we also concluded by saying Chasel Lo. Lo is the end, is the conclusion. So who composed this? This was composed by one great Indian master by the name of Acharya Dignaga Acharya Dignaga. That was 6th century AD. He composed this text. And then this word of salutation of that text. And so this text, after 100 years, another great logician, Buddhist logician appeared, Acharya Dharmakirti. After 100 years, Acharya Dharmakirti came. And he just glanced through these two lines and he was thrilled to see that, wow, this just two lines, but it's heavily laden with meanings. There's a tremendous gravity to these two lines. And he wrote a commentary on these two lines. The commentary of these two lines is consisted of 283 verses. 283 verses to explain these two lines. And if we read the 283 verses ourselves, we'll not get anything. It requires more commentaries. You getting it? This amazingly condensed concept, these two lines. And His Holiness oftentimes inspires the audience to lead our life, to design the daily practice on the basis of these two lines. And I remember 2013, 3 years before we launched the Nalanda studies, Tibet House Nalanda studies, when His Holiness was in Delhi, early morning, I received a phone call from the Secretary of His Holiness and said that if you are free, His Holiness wants you here right now. Then there's no free, no free. I just jumped. And then His Holiness gave a lengthy advice on how to administer Tibet House. So meanwhile, His Holiness all gave some personal advice. And then this is one part. His Holiness said that we can just contemplate our life on the basis of these two lines. And he said it once more. This is what His Holiness cited. So, but this is what I'm saying is that this is laden with meanings. This is extremely profound. And on this basis, we say that, okay, so finally, I need to benefit all the beings, protect the beings. For this, only if you are protected, you can protect others. So for this, I need to experience the Sugadhahood. To experience Sugadhahood, I should know the path which leads to the Sugadhahood, the path to be taught to others. So for that matter, the initial drive should be compassion, that I should benefit all the beings. So this will then take us to become a reliable guide. So it says, okay, let's say this together one time, on these two lines together. The one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teacher, Sukada, and protector to your administrations. Okay, so from this, what we come to discover is that from this, what is the takeaway from these two lines for you? For you, from these two lines, on the basis of what we have learned thus far, the last two sessions, just raise hands. What did you do? What is takeaway from this? Anyone? Anyone? Quick. Just speak your mind, not necessarily that there should be a correct answer, a wrong answer. No, there's no right and wrong. Just tell me, what is the takeaway from this? Anyone? Anyone? Huh? In other words, say reading these two lines, and then from attending this retreat, let's say we are on the 10th of November, which means we finish the retreat. 10th finish, and then so now you have to prepare to leave Deer Park. So what would you take away from this retreat on the basis of these two lines? Just speak your mind. Tell me. Yes.
The purpose of life as meaning of life being the finding of wisdom and compassion, recognizing yourself as
Wonderful. Amazing summary. Say, to see the now, this is the real meaning of life. This is the meaning of life, where they're driven by compassion. Then you look for what is to be adopted. What is to be adopted is what cleanses our mental defilements, so the goal will become manifest. The goal inside will become manifest. For that, we have to apply the remedy. So what remedy to apply? The wisdom of emptiness. And then you experience it yourself, and then share with others. Amazing summary. Thank you. Your name? Mike. Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else? Yes, Pinzole. Okay, helping others, you should become reliable, or that is reliable. That is reliable. That is reliable in ways that what you do becomes very reliable. Compassion gives you a sense of integrity and reliability. Very good. Anyone else? Yes.
With wisdom of emptiness, you remove your mental defilements to go to the samsara state.
Suddenly, you get the wisdom of emptiness. Once you have the wisdom of emptiness, only then you can think of the experiencing what is known as Sugadhahood, the perfect bliss of purity, where your Buddha nature becomes manifest. Only the wisdom of emptiness. But it doesn't mean that, it doesn't mean that other things are not required. Other things are required, but the wisdom of emptiness is indispensably required. You're getting it? This is the message. Very good. Anyone else?
Samsara is a dream.
Oh, yes. Now we're getting a clearer picture of what samsara is. Samsara is nothing, the dream that we created. Beautiful, is amazing. Very good. Anyone else? Good. Sharipuma. For somebody to really benefit yourself, to benefit others, you have to become a reliable guide. Reliable guide to guide yourself and guide all the other beings towards ultimate happiness. Very beautiful. Anyone else? Yes. Become selfless to benefit other sentient beings. Beautiful. Thank you. Antonella? Antonella? That we all have the Buddha energy. We all have the capacity to become Buddha, to become enlightened. I'm so glad. Yes. Someone gets it.
Remove some of the mud from the goal that is covered with mud, and see to help others to see that they are covered with mud. Also helping them to remove them.
Wonderful. That to acknowledge that there's a Buddha energy within me, but that is covered by mud, mental defilements. So first identify that it is covered by the mental defilements, by the mud of mental defilements, and apply remedies to overcome these. Likewise, to see the same thing, help others to identify their own defilements, and then help others to apply the remedies to overcome their mental defilements. Perfect, very good. Anyone else? Anyone else? Okay, good. So it's a beautiful summary. I'm so impressed. Within just one day, you already are reached to a certain level. It's amazing. Thank you. Okay. Now the next. So from this, now tell me. Now what thus far? What did you find? A point which is so important for us to do now. What have you learned thus far? From this, tell me, what do you feel is something that now I have to do this? What? To be compassionate. Anyone else? To realize the wisdom of emptiness. Finally, without wisdom of emptiness, I can't do anything. Right? I have to realize emptiness. So what is emptiness? Right? I was 20 years old. And I set for my personal retreat just for about 2 months. and they say more like under the guidance of my teacher Venerable Genlamin Rinpoche. Ajirji, you met Genlamin Rinpoche? You did not. And Antonelji? Okay. Which means no one. No one. Okay. Genlamin Yes. Yes. Okay, Genlamin Rinpoche, yes. And I set my retreat, and anybody say, and I asked Venerable Sir, what should I meditate? What should I meditate for my retreat? I was just 20 years old. And Venerable just said, meditate on emptiness. Meditate, no, not emptiness. Meditate on impermanence. Right? And how should I do that? Right? Just read the book. Lamrim book. Read it and then meditate. They're as simple as that, right? No detailed teachings. Then I kept the book with me, I was reading, and then in my sessions I meditated. Then the sheer blessings of my teacher, and of course his son is Dalai Lama and all the other teachers with the direct the supervision of my teacher Venerable Lamrimpa Rinpoche, I started to feel the sense of urgency. Everything, all the thing, whatever I'm seeing myself is so momentarily moving. So fast. Everything is so fast moving. Right? Very scary experience. And what should I do now? Is everything moves so fast? What should I do? Right? Okay, if you don't do something to get out of samsara completely, it moves so fast and moving towards death and then falling. Right? It's very dangerous, very scary. How to get out? How to get out of samsara? Right? Wisdom emptiness. When will I get the wisdom emptiness? So, wisdom emptiness is far away. For me, as a student of IBD, Institute of Buddhist Dialectics in Dharamsala, for us to get to this level of the teaching, emptiness, which we are studying now, teaching is not on the first day. So here you are getting on the first day, right? And my teacher said, emptiness, forget, impermanence, right? And then I see with impermanence, meditation, I start to feel this urgency. What should I do? How to get out of samsara? Only through wisdom emptiness. When will I get to wisdom emptiness? Then I start to feel that those students who are already in the class studying emptiness, I start to feel them so meritorious, extremely fortunate that they get the chance to study emptiness. I'm so fortunate. And I just wished that there's somebody who can teach me emptiness right now. Okay, so the point is that, as Antonelli just said, that now the wisdom of emptiness, this is something which we have to meditate on. To meditate, right? To meditate, we should know what wisdom of emptiness is. To know what the wisdom of emptiness is, we should have the materials gathered. You're getting it? So this is known as the 3 levels of wisdom. So the first, we have to get the materials to learn this wisdom of emptiness. Learn it. That is the wisdom derived through learning. The first one. Wisdom derived through learning. You learn. So after getting the materials, what should you do? You subject them to analysis to see if what is taught there makes sense to you. Are you convinced about it? That is wisdom derived through reflection. Number 2 is wisdom derived through reflection. The first one is wisdom derived through learning, studying. Then whatever you study, whatever you've learned, you subject them to analysis to see if they make sense to you. That is known as the contemplation, wisdom derived through reflection. Number 2, wisdom derived through reflection. The moment, okay, how many of you have heard this equation? E equals mc square. Okay, how many of you know how to derive it, resistance? including myself, I don't know how to derive this. In my school days, I must have learned it, but I don't know now. The only one who could derive it, he's not here now. Okay, so we know this. So how many are sure that this is the equation set by Einstein? E equals mc squared. I'll not ask you to derive it. Don't worry. My question to you is, how many of you are very sure that this is the equation taught by Albert Einstein? Does that make sense? Good. Right? So you know, but do you know how this derived? I have no clue. I'm just borrowing from Albert Einstein. Right? This is borrowed knowledge. It's not my knowledge. How many agree with me? Does that make sense? Right? It's a borrowed knowledge, it's not my knowledge. When that is a correct knowledge, but borrowed knowledge, this is known as wisdom derived through learning. When you get the correct knowledge, but it's a borrowed, it's not your knowledge, that is a wisdom derived through learning. Like the doctor Tenzin Rabgala this morning who came, like him, he now knows how to derive it, right? So it becomes his knowledge. The moment it becomes his knowledge, is your knowledge, not borrowed knowledge anymore. When it becomes your knowledge, then this is known as the wisdom derived through reflection. You're getting it? This is very important. It's same in the monasteries. Some of the monk scholars, they can remember the whole books, volumes by heart. And they can just pick up all these points here, there, so forth. But as a person may not be very kind, very kind, or, these. So, what's the problem? You know all the scriptures, still you have this problem. What's the problem? So, which means that if somebody says that, what's the point of learning all these things if if your emotions remain the same? Which means a person is very naive. So this person doesn't mean that the person has become enlightened. The person has reached which level? Hey, knows all these scriptures by heart, you ask any question, give the answer. So, but the mentally not transformed. Which wisdom level? Learning, you're getting it? Some people, they're too naive. They cannot distinguish between these three levels. Wisdom derived through learning, wisdom derived through reflection, wisdom derived through meditation. They cannot distinguish between these two. They think that you learn something means that you should be able to manifest it in your the being, but it's not the reality. The reality is that there's the three levels there. The first one is learning. You may be so thorough with the books, bookish, we call it bookish knowledge, right? Bookish knowledge. So for example, if you still want to know what the wisdom of learning like, I will tell you what it is. I have that experience when I was 5 years old. How old are you? 5 years? Hey, how old are you? 5 years? No one. I had this experience. What's the wisdom of learning? I know this when I was 5 years old. You're curious to know? Okay. When I was 5 years old, my teacher said, all the boys and girls, you have to memorize the multiplication table of 3. Right? And then so most of you young ones, right? After your school, the parents say, what is your homework? Right? Then they send you to coaching. Yes, kid? Coaching? No? Tuitions? Yes? You? Right? Omar? Right? So for us, no coaching, no tuition, nothing, right? Hey, you have to memorize this by tomorrow. Then all the boys, little boys and girls will say, yes, right? Then after class finish, forget. Nobody is asking you, what is your homework? Nobody is there, right? Lucky boys and girls, right? Nobody's inquiring. And so what? You're just 5 years old. You're just around playing, fighting, proving yourself is correct to other boys and girls. And the next day the teacher said, okay, now I hope you all learn this by heart. Nobody learned by heart. Then said, Dorji, my name. Dorji, stand up. Yes, right. Okay, now recite the multiplication table of 3. Right? This poor boy, no clue, right? Remain silent. And the teacher, hey, 3 ones are? That's easy. What is that? 3. That's very easy. 3. Good. 3 twos are? No idea. Right? So, 5 fingers, they go behind. Right? They go behind. And then 3 twos are? 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. Good. 3 threes are? 7, 8, 9. 9. Good. Sit down. Right? If you tell me that point, Dorji, you said 3 equals 3. 3 into 3 equals 9. How is this 9? I had no clue. I just copied what I learned from the teacher. Right? Just keep adding. Right? 3 twos are 6. Then 3 threes are 7, 8, 9. 9. And how 3 into 3 equals, what is the meaning of 3 into 3 equals 9? I have no idea. I had no idea. That is a borrowed knowledge. It's a correct knowledge, but it's a borrowed knowledge. This is known as wisdom drawn through learning. Yeah, I'm not convinced of this. It's not my knowledge. When you're convinced of this, it becomes your knowledge. When it becomes your knowledge for the first time, this is known as the wisdom drawn through reflection. Okay. What is meant by wisdom drawn through reflection? Right? Okay. What is meant by your knowledge? Not a borrowed knowledge. One time, there was a 6-year-old boy. Not me, another boy. I was already in my 40s. Then the boy said that I brought, my host invited me for a teaching, to give a teaching. And then he was the main host and his son, little boy, just 6 years old. And I brought some almonds. And the boy said, I like almonds. I said, have. And then he was enjoying the almonds. And he picked one and he said that color of this, it is brown outside, but inside this is white. This little boy said. So I asked him, are you sure it's white inside? And he said, yes. How do you know this? And actually I was checking what is the meaning of wisdom drawn through reflection. Right? Then I asked, how do you know that the color inside is white? It's brown. Look, is this brown? He said, no, inside is white. How do you know this? Then he bit it and made it half. And look, this inside is white. I said, wow, it's amazing. How do you know this? How do you know? Without looking at it, you already know that it's white. Who taught you this? He said, no, nobody taught me. I know it myself. I know it myself means it's my knowledge. It's not a borrowed knowledge. Right? You got to get, this is known as the wisdom drawn through reflection. For the first time, you understand how E equals mc squared. You know how to derive it well. That is the wisdom drawn through reflection. So for the first time, you know that everything is like a dream. They're all coming from our own mind. They're all dream. This is when you really become convinced. When you're convinced, goosebumps come in the body, a tinge of fear can come in your mind, a tingling sensations flow in your body, cold waves can flow through your body, through the skin of your body. At that point, you're convinced that yes, what I've learned of emptiness here in this book, it makes sense. This is a reality. It's all coming from my mind. That is known as wisdom drawn through reflection. What is the third? Wisdom drawn through meditation. What is the wisdom drawn through meditation? Okay, let me say that. Okay, say, gentleman over there, what's your name? No, the one here sitting on the chair. Huh? Elias. Elias, you're a doctor or nurse? Nurse, okay. Let me say, so we have two nurses here. The girl here, you are nurse? Okay. So we have two nurses here. Any other nurses? Raise hands. Okay. So let's say that 14 years ago, 14 years ago, I was diagnosed with tuberculosis. 14 years ago. Pleurosis. And it took a while to discover that the problem is tuberculosis. And finally, the medications all prescribed, and let's say that I, the two nurses here, they tell me that, Geshé, you take this medicine and your problem will be over, right? Then I took the medicine today, and the next day I come to two nurses, that you told me that, okay, imagine you are all the doctors and nurses. Imagine what would be your advice to me. Your answer, not advice, your answer to my complaint. I complained to two of them, to all of you, that yesterday you said that you take this medicine and your tuberculosis problem will be over. I took the medicine yesterday and still have the same problem. So what would you tell me? Two of them have the answers. Others, it'll take time. How long? 10 years. Then? Huh? Okay, that's a good point. Anyone else? What would you say? What would you advise? Or how would you respond to my complaint? Okay, now let's turn to the two nurses. Yes. Elias? What would you say?
I guess it depends on the package, how long it should take. I would just refer to the scientific answer. Maybe it takes more time, maybe you need to wait, maybe you need more pills, or maybe there is more effort.
Okay, Ajikasan, what will you say?
You should wait until you finish your course of treatment, maybe 9 months or something.
Okay, so the standard treatment. During my time, the standard treatment is for 6 months. It's for 6 months. When I was little meaning when I was like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. In those days, it was like before Ajikasan was born. Before she was born, the treatment was for about like 1 year and 1.5 years. You have to take the medicines that long. And during my time, when I was suffering, when I was my early 40s, the medicines have improved a lot. So you have to take only for 6 months. And some doctors were saying that later on it can even become just 3 months. Medicines will become so effective that in 6 months you're probably over. Standard time. But it can take longer. Right? Okay. So the point is that although you got the medicine, but it'll take time. It takes time. So what should you do? You have to repeat the medicine over and over again. Yes? Hey, don't feel days. You have to repeat the medicines, yes?
Yes,
Oh, yeah. Right? It's day one. If you're tired, then how can you do the remaining 6 days? Right? People stay for 10 years, 20 years. Okay. So you have to repeat the medication. Likewise, the wisdom of emptiness, which is the remedy to overcome the mental defilements, you have, yes, things are empty of true existence. They are all like dream. It becomes your knowledge. That it becomes your knowledge, that is real medicine. Now this medicine has to be repeated. Repeated. You're getting it? Repeated. So this repeating of this the remedy is known as meditation. Wisdom draws through meditation. Right? Then you repeat it. Your job is just repeat it. There's nothing, no extra treatment. Just repeat the same medication. Repeat it. After 6 months, the problem is over. You're getting it? Mental defilements are removed completely. Okay. So here comes the 3 wisdoms. What are 3 wisdoms? Wisdom draws through learning, wisdom draws through reflection, and wisdom draws through meditation. You're getting it? So therefore, when we say meditation, don't just think that meditation is just sit like this and I close the eyes, and this is not the full meaning of meditation. The real meaning of meditation is where you preceded with the first 2 steps. Wisdom draws through learning, wisdom draws through reflection. Only then you go into the repetition of repeated exercise of The conviction that is gained through the wisdom drawn through reflection, that becomes the wisdom drawn through. Then with this, what happens is that your mind, the wisdom of emptiness become very spontaneous. Will become very spontaneous, right? Very spontaneous. Okay, let us put it like this. Let's say that. Okay, what would tell me? Say we are talking about the wisdom of emptiness. What is the wisdom of emptiness for? What is this for? Quick, anyone, quick. What is the wisdom of emptiness for? Yes, Pizola. Huh? To help others. Yes. To understand everything, how it works. Quick. To make room. To make room for a new knowledge. Anyone else? Emotions? To manage emotions and thus remove our suffering. To remove ignorance. To know the reality as it is, the girl there. To wake up from the sleep of ignorance. You are getting it? To wake up. Very good. Sherry Pema. To attain fearlessness. And the girl here? Stay awake. So if you're not awakened then, to stay awake, you should be awakened first, right? If you are in sleep, then you cannot stay awake. You stay awake in sleep. Or you must say, wake up and then stay awake. Perfect, very good. Okay, so do you agree with me that what he said is we have to put gold like Buddha nature within us. And our job is, don't look for the gold outside. Don't put effort to look for gold outside. Gold is already within us. So our job is, remove the mud. Remove the mud. What is this mud? Mental defilements, including ignorance, attachment, afflictive obscurations, cognitive obscurations, right? So, to remove this, and then we have to apply the remedies. And the remedy, the ultimate remedy, is the wisdom of emptiness, waking up from the sleep of ignorance. Once you're waking up, stay awake, right? Okay, this is a job. So for that matter, on the wisdom of emptiness, this is something that we have to practice. Okay. So, with this, and the wisdom of emptiness is extremely precious. And this is respected as the only liberating path. Only liberating path. Why? Do you agree with me that in your dream, whatever you do, ultimately what liberates you from the nightmare is to wake up. Waking up is the ultimate answer to your nightmare. How many agree with me? Raise hands. Yes. So it is for this reason that the wisdom of emptiness is respected as the only liberating path. All other practices are referred to as the ripening paths. Ripening paths. Only the wisdom of emptiness alone is the liberating path. All others are ripening meaning which helps ripen the wisdom of emptiness. Okay. Now with this, we have, the time is up, and okay, let's not be too ambitious. Let's stop here. Huh? Sharibima is the beginning. It's just the start of the class. What happened? Right? She had been giving this impression. Huh? Wow, I can see that she's so animated. Right? Wow. Okay. So we started and we finished just this impression is just here. Right? We began and then, right? Where's the class? Okay. Tirtha Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Gate Bodhiswatyata